Hello, good morning. I'm starting the vlog at 5:50, which is a choice. Today is Monday, and today and tomorrow I actually will not be out going to my day job. No, I'm not just not going to work. Okay, let me explain. Let me start again. I'm taking 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. During this time, wow, this is why I don't vlog this early generally, but I gotta get back into the practice. I kind of want to try out if I was full-time with writing and didn't have to do anything other than writing, maybe not even full-time, just if I didn't have to have a day job, how would I structure that day? So I'm gonna kind of try that out today. I am still streaming at 6 just because I do like getting up early, believe it or not. So my sort of in my head, I've always kind of thought if I was full-time, I think I would still do the morning writing session, but I do 3 sprints instead of 2 because usually I only do 2 25-minute sprints, but I'll do 3 and then kind of take a break and get ready for the day a little bit more and do some cleaning, like whatever needs to be done. And then before lunch do another like hour and a half of writing or more. And then in the afternoon do like a workout and clean the house and do the things, and then in the later evening do some more writing, and maybe right after lunch as well. I don't know, but I do have my stream, my usual 6 a.m. stream. I really like to try to do them on Mondays for sure. Like I do it kind of like usually 3 or 4 days a week, but I always like to have a Monday because I think it just is helpful to start the week in routine. I'm gonna do 90 minutes. I gotta get organized and figure out what I'm actually gonna be writing during the stream, because I'm also, over the next 2 days, which is I think probably what this vlog will be, tomorrow, Tuesday, I will be swapping the first fourth of my book with Cody, and I think the first fourth is fine, but I would actually really like to, I don't know, I want it to be done with the whole thing. I'm only on technically chapter 11, but really like chapter 15. I'm in this chunk of chapters right now, and there's a lot of like adding in news, like I'm adding in a new scene and like reformatting and structuring things a little bit. So the goal for the next 2 days is to for sure get through the midpoint, which I'm almost like chapters 17 through 20 is the midpoint, I believe. And so getting through that and also looking through the first fourth again to like make sure it's solid to send over. So let's get into it, shall we? I have been starting to do actual skincare. I have never used an SPF before. Don't come for me, skincare girlies. But I got one now. Neutrogena. And the problem is I feel like my skin just breaks out anytime I put anything on it. Like the best skin I've ever had is when I just do nothing. But I know that that's bad for me. So I'm trying out, I have my moisturizer, CeraVe. Sponsor me, CeraVe. Anyway, I have this SPF, and then I also have like this cold cleanser, moisturizing makeup remover. that I wear at night. I got this in like middle school. No, high school. I don't remember. That's the last time I was really regularly wearing heavy makeup because I was that girl. Anyway, but now I'm using SPF to protect me from the sun. So if I go through a weird acne moment, we're all just gonna accept and move on because it's good for me apparently. But I am already breaking out and I've only been doing it for like 3 days. But that's probably why. Like I probably just need to get my skin used to it, you know? Did you think you were coming here for skincare content? Because here you are. And I was also told I need to put it on my neck, which is confusing because how is the sun gonna get down there? I look dead inside. Anyway. So I just got back from my walk. It was like an hour and a half, which is aggressive. No, it's an hour. I don't know. It was long. Anyway, my kitchen and living room are such a mess and I didn't even realize it. So I am going to, promise I'm also meal prepping today. So I'm kind of thinking I'm just gonna like clean and meal prep to a certain extent. And then start writing maybe at 11, like maybe write for an hour around 11. Or I could eat right at 11 and then right after that. Because I'm gonna go to the pool and swim at like 2:30. So yeah. But I wanna get a writing session in before that. So, but I desperately need to clean. Like, trying to find the best angle to really show you the magnitude of what we've gotten ourselves into. It looks right now you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, she's gonna talk for 10 minutes because every time she sits in this chair, she talks for a year. No, I actually have my computer and it's about 1. I don't know what I said earlier, but I think I was talking about how I was gonna go to the pool, but the pool is not open in the afternoon today, so that was not gonna happen. I'm actually gonna read the first 10 chapters of this book in a row, trying not to do too much editing. Actually the first 14 chapters, which is aggressive, actually. I don't know, I'm gonna see how I'm feeling. I might like at the end of each chapter write a little summary in this notebook of like what happens in this chapter. Just to get my head around it. The reason I'm doing this is because chapters 10 through 15 are really ambiguous to me right now in terms of what order they should be in, and I've never been a person to reorder chapters. In fact, the way that I write chapters are often like lead into each other. I don't very often. Usually there's 1 or 2 times in a book that is like a 1 week later, 2 weeks, like it all is very like she starts the scene in her POV and then he finishes it in his POV, and it's like they're talking about like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow, and it's tomorrow. Like I don't play with timeline a ton, which is maybe I don't know. I'm doing it more in this book than I have in the past, but so I want to read and see. It's hard to explain. The problem I'm running into is like the first 5 chapters are very like, okay, we start with kind of a bang, so to speak. And then it's a little bit of introduction of putting them both in the situation, like making it clear, like, what is the situation with these two characters? Why are they, what's going on with them? What is their big problem, right? Then it goes into the next 5 chapters. What's going on is like, there's some action stuff happening and there's some like character relationship building scenes. Like that's what the next chapters are. But right now it's kind of going character relationship scene, action scene, action scene, action scene. When I think, especially for the beginning of the book, like I feel like I want to put this one action scene before, like in between, so it's kind of going like you have a little encounter and then something bad happens and then a little encounter and then something bad, but it's not like bad. It's hard to explain, but it's not something that needs like, I don't know how much of this I want to share, but I mean my main male character is like, he's getting put in this position to do these things that he doesn't necessarily want to do, to participate in this thing that he doesn't want to participate in. Oh, my bread is ready. Anyway, he's in this position and he has to do these things. Super specific. Nothing like, he has to do these tasks. And right now it's like, him and Danny, ooh, and then it's like task. And then another task. So I'm thinking of moving one of the tasks in between. But the problem is I just did all of this character mind work, and now it would change slightly if I shifted that around, because then he wouldn't be feeling that quite yet because they hadn't had that date yet. You know, like it would just shift a little bit. But the more I talk about it, the more I really think I'm gonna end up switching it. But it might be fine as it is. I also might just delete this whole scene I just wrote because I don't know if it's actually super necessary anymore, but I think it is. But also, all of this internal work I've been doing with the character has been with Cal, the male POV, but now I'm thinking I gotta do something with Danny, even though I thought she was fine. Or not fine, she's not fine, but she her arc of interiority was fine. I just want to read this first chunk to see like, would it flow well? Does it need that? And also to fix around a few things, because honestly this first chapter is looking rough. Okay. Because also I'm giving this to Cody tomorrow, the first 10 chapters of this book. But I have all day, and I have all day tomorrow too. So I have to knead the bread a little bit and then it'll rise for another 40 minutes. So that'll be kind of a good chunk of time for me to write or read, one would say. Okay. I wrote while the bread was rising, which was like 40 minutes that's when I was in the rocking chair. And then I wrote for another 40 minutes while it was baking. And all of that time, I was just editing chapter 1. To be fair, chapter 1 is 800 times better than it was, but I don't know if I just didn't do chapter 1. I'm honestly think I'm gonna go back and watch the videos where I started doing the actual revision, because who edited chapter 1? It was not me. Anyway, but so now I'm like, is every chapter gonna take an hour and a half? Hopefully not. I do remember like thinking like, oh, chapter 1, like I'm not gonna put pressure. Girl. Now I'm gonna actually run and get a Diet Coke. Listen, I need to get out of the house once today. I'm gonna go get a Diet Coke and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna like try to read through. And I mean, I'll make an edit here or there. Honestly, now's the time to do edits like this though, because I have all of today and tomorrow. Like I have nothing going on, and I've already written 90 minutes this morning and then another, I guess about 90 minutes today in the afternoon. So, and I'll for sure write during, I don't know how many sprints Lynn is gonna do, but Lynn is live tonight, that I will be participating. But I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try to read through as much as I can. But we'll just kind of see. I remember chapter 2 being better, but like, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to put all these limits on it. It's gonna be fine. I just need to get my head in the game. Actually, the thing is, my head is actually really in the game. Editing that felt very intuitive, like I knew what to do. I felt like, okay, this is the right decision. Adding in the sentence here is that it needs this, it needs it. It felt so intuitive and good. Like, I felt like I had direction on like what the scene needed in a way that doesn't always happen when I go into a scene, so that was good. I haven't eaten a meal today, but I've eaten every 20 minutes. I don't know. And listen, I love to bake the bread, but I will just eat the whole loaf in one day, which I'm trying not to do. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, first things first, I'm a warehouse stringy and disgusting. My hair is no need to comment. This is what hair looks like. Okay, anyway, second thing, it's Tuesday. I ended up writing for like 7 hours yesterday. On chapter 6 of this read through that I'm doing, I've been spiraling a lot about the opening because I think it's too bloated. I think that it's meandering a bit. It's doing a good job of introducing the characters, but it's doing a bad job of introducing the stakes and the central conflict of the book. And I think I can condense certain scenes, and I'm also toying around with like starting the book much later in certain terms, but in the same, like just bringing certain events to happen before the book starts. But that is a big restructure, and so I'm not doing that right now because I'm literally sending first 10 chapters of this book to Cody today. So, and that was not the point of rereading the opening. I've just been thinking a lot about the opening because it's just so hard to get right, and because there are two main characters to this book who both have their own POV, and in my mind they're both equally important. I think technically Danny is the leading character, but now I don't even know anymore. Anyway, but there's so much to introduce in the opening. Like I need to introduce both of these people, how they know each other, why they don't like each other, their family situation, and then like immediately after, in order to jump into the conflict of the book, I need to establish why are they fake dating each other. And doing that for Cal means I need to establish this whole situation that he gets himself into. And then for her, I need to establish this whole case that she's working. But I want the fake dating to start right away because they need to decide that they're fake dating really early, in my opinion, because that is the central driving force of the book. Like that's what we're doing in the book. And so I don't want to spend too much time setting up, but I want to spend enough time there where you get to know the characters. But then I'm like, what if I started the book and they already had these stakes in place? Like that it had already, and then we learn slowly why they have these stakes in place. But that requires a lot more restructuring that I don't have time to do right now. But then I have to remind myself, like, That might be work that I do later, but the opening is still fine. Like the opening still sets up what it needs to set up. Restructuring it would essentially just have it come to the reader in a different order. So it's okay for me to send it like this because all the information that you need is still there. Hopefully, we'll see. And that wasn't even the reason I was rereading the opening, because I just wanted to reread the opening to see if I needed to reorder some chapters, and I haven't even gotten to those chapters yet. Regardless, I did my stream this morning and I read through a couple more chapters. I'm on chapter 6 now. I'd like to read through all of the first 10 this morning and figure out if I need to reorder and then do any of that reordering. In my mind, reordering that would not change a lot, but it probably would. I don't know. And then from there, once I get through that and I decide, do I want to reorder it? And then if I do, then I will reorder it and then I will send it. Like I just need to, I'm not going to do any of that restructuring today because I don't know for sure if it needs it. So I'm going to wait until I get some feedback on it. Anyway, it has been good though. I've been very in this book in the last few days, and that's a fun place to be, regardless of how stressful it is. Anyway, after that, I'll be moving into just continuing on with the revision, because I was up to chapter 15, and I actually would like to read all the way through to the midpoint, because then I can kind of get a good grasp of things, you know? And honestly, I have said this a few times. I don't know if it still rings true, but I think once I get to the midpoint, the revisions are a lot more straightforward. But maybe not, because now that I'm thinking about it, there is that whole scene that I wrote that I need to fit in somewhere that I don't know if it fits in anywhere yet, but I need it to. It needs to go somewhere. These are all good thoughts to be having. And though it is stressful to like realize that you might need to change something about the book, I don't know, it's also very hopeful to me because I was really panicking about it last night, and I called one of the people who have read the book and I was like, and she kind of confirmed that the beginning, while it does a lot of good things, it meanders and doesn't really find its center until like honestly Act 2. And so getting confirmation of that, I was like, okay, that's fine. And I know I can fix it. And I was really panicking because I was like, I don't know if I can fix it. And then I woke up and I was still stressed. Like if you watched the beginning of the live stream from Tuesday, I was like really in my head. And then I just kind of moved along with chapter 6 and I just kept reading. And I was like, you know what? Even this on its own, while it could use some restructuring and tightening up, like it also is good on its own. Like the chapter is good on its own. Or readable and fine and does a job. It doesn't do the best job, but it's not doing the work. Like job is still getting done. But these are all good thoughts to have, and the answers are coming easier, and being in the book more makes me more in tune with what the book needs and how it feels and how it reads. And I really feel like I'm getting a good view of what this book actually is now, and that is very exciting. And I want to stay in that flow for the whole book. Like if I can stay in this pace for the whole book, I think I could get it done in a week. I'm not even joking. I also have not been working today or yesterday, so like it's not really fair to expect myself to work at this pace on days where I'm also working my job. The moral of the story is it's coming along. I'm sending it over to Cody, and I know like Cody is so nice, and I know will also give me feedback, but also he's not gonna like tell me it's horrible. Maybe he will, but regardless. And also part of that was I'm not gonna like go and spoil your whole book here, Cody, so don't worry. But I started reading the opening, honestly the first page of Cody's, because he sent it early, which stressed me out, but it's fine. And it was so like, it knew itself so well, is what I will say. Like you could tell that the story knew what it was about and where it was going. And I think that is what I'm struggling with right now. Like there are a lot, and so it just like highlighted what that struggle was, because I know what the heart of this book is, and honestly I think I really love this book, and I love so many things about it. I love the characters. I love how they interact. I love their backstory. I love their central conflict. I love how it all comes together. I love the ending of this book. Like there's so much that I love about this book, but it really, at the beginning, it doesn't know what it is yet. Or it does, but it's not there yet. It just is reading like it doesn't know what it's about. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how it feels right now. But I know what it's about now, and so the struggle is just making that translate efficiently and effectively onto the page. Anyway, but it's getting closer. Like I can tell it's getting closer, and it might even do the job right now, and I just can't see it for what it is. I'm gonna go to the pool this morning, and then so I'm gonna go to the pool, and then I will need to like do and get ready for the day after that. I also do need to meal prep at some point today, so I might do it then. I might do it in the afternoon. I don't know. But once I get back from there, then like really I'm gonna sit down and get through the 10 chapters and send it off. I'm also live with Brielle tonight, so then I'll kind of just keep on going. That's where we are. I'm gonna go to the pool now and hopefully have more thoughts. Or maybe less thoughts. Maybe less thoughts would be good at this moment. Let me actually do some math here because maybe I'm only sending the first 9 chapters. Okay, I gotta pull the board out here. In theory, if I'm sending it in fourths, I should only send this, right? That's only through chapter 6. That can't be right. We can do through 9. That's fine. I'm gonna read through chapter 8, which is like 2,100 words, not even long. And I think this scene's actually in good shape. It's wild to me that I'm re-editing all these chapters because what have I been doing for 2 months editing all these chapters? Okay. Sorry, that was aggressive. Okay, this feels like a good place to end this video. I just finished the first 8 chapters. It's funny, what I intended to do, I still will do, reordering all the chapters and everything, but I looked at my Save the Cat of it all, you know? And if we're splitting into 4 sections, like this week we'll read each other's first section, and I was doing it by chapter count, but it actually makes more sense to do it by Save the Cat, and so this is Act 1, is the first 8 chapters. So, and it actually kind of works out word count-wise as well, so, which means it's too bloated, but that's fine. So I'm gonna send the first 8 chapters over to Cody and Sylvia, which is so exciting. But also, actually, I don't feel as panicked about it anymore because by chapter 8, I feel like we've really settled into ourselves, you know, which is too late. But I have a good feeling about the changes that I've made. I actually feel like it might be fine. Not me spiraling for a solid 48 hours about it and then randomly at 1 p.m. I'm like, you know what, maybe it's fine. So I'm interested to hear people's feedback about how they receive it initially. So that's where we're gonna leave it. But I'm gonna keep on writing today. I have all day. And so there'll be a lot more writing vlogs, hopefully of me finishing this book very soon, because I did just edit all of Act 1 in 2 days, but it had also sort of already been edited. I don't know, it's confusing, but I'm hoping to keep that pace up. Because next week I will have to start outlining very intentionally my November book. So yeah, but that's where we are. Thank you for being here. Comment down below a light bulb emoji for the future light bulb moments that I will hopefully have with this book. I'll see you next time.